Hello and welcome back for another episode of Becoming an Online Sales Queen. And in this episode, your girl here is going to get a little bit vulnerable. This episode is literally me peeling back the curtain and giving you warts and all of my business, right? I'm going to get super insightful about 3 of the biggest challenges that I've ever faced in my business. I'm going to tell you what the challenges were, how they felt, what I did about them, and what the outcome was, okay? And the reason that I'm doing this is because, well, I'm here to make a stand that running a business is not all about Instagram highlight reels. It's not just about me showing you the good bits. Yeah, it would be wrong of me to celebrate the 100K launch, to celebrate the £500,000 funnel, and not tell you that there have been sleepless nights. Yeah, not tell you that I have been crying, like there have been nights where I've been upset, where I've been really frustrated, where I've been caught between a decision to go this way and a decision to go this way and not really knowing like what to do. It's not like that now, touch wood. Yeah, I feel very in control of my business right now. I'm literally like so grateful that I get to live with the amount of freedom and abundance and choice that I have. But it would be wrong of me to paint the picture that it's always been like that, because it hasn't, right? It definitely has not. So if right now you are experiencing some challenges in your business, maybe you're trying to scale and you're on a plateau of frustration, maybe the income is plateauing, maybe your team are not performing the way that you want it to all gel together. There could be all sorts of things going on for you. Maybe you have got an offer that you don't love at the moment, but it's got 20 women in it and you don't know how to unwind it. Maybe you know that your pricing is too low, but you don't know how to increase it. Like, there is always a decision. There is always things that we have to think about, that we have to work through. Every level has a new devil. And so I think it's really important that we sit and reflect on our challenges so that we can celebrate how far we've come, but also share it with our clients, because I know that the fact that I've experienced these challenges makes me a better mentor. I wouldn't be as good a mentor for you as I am if I hadn't experienced any challenges. Because if growth was a straight line, if success was easy and I hadn't had to navigate any difficulty, then I wouldn't be able to support my clients to get through that difficulty. Yeah, so see every challenge that you have, see it as learning, see it as an opportunity, see it as, like creating your soul, it's literally building you as a mentor. Yeah, so embrace your challenges, see them as good things. Okay, so let's get into it. I've got 3 and I've got 40 minutes to nail this because I am on school run duty today. And obviously, if I don't finish, my little boy will be stood there all by himself. And that is not the kind of mum that I want to be. So let's dive in. I've got some notes here on my phone just to keep me on track. So my first challenge I have called thinking more equals more. Okay. And I'm sure that you either have or have had or may face soon this very same concept, because we are conditioned from a young age to think that doing more means getting more, that adding more of something means the outcome will be better. Yeah. And because of that conditioning in my business, I had noticed that I was adding more offers. I was working more hours. I was thinking I needed more of everything, more lead magnets, more offers, more courses, more of everything. And actually just adding more makes things complex. Yeah, adding more takes you away from simplicity, takes you away from ease and flow. Adding more doesn't make things better, or it certainly wasn't making things better for me. So my biggest challenge was thinking that more equals more. And so on that, I want you to reflect. Are you doing too much? Are you adding more to your list? Are you constantly thinking, oh, I didn't make enough sales today, I'm going to have to work the evening. I didn't create a lead magnet this week, I'm going to have to work Sunday. Are you constantly thinking that you've got to do more, add more, create more? Because it may well be that your success is going to be like mine. Because I saw more success from taking away, from stripping back, than I did from adding more. Okay. So the breakthrough for me was at a retreat. It was December 2022. I was in Barbados. It was a retreat that I had booked literally within 7 days of the day that the retreat began. I just joined a brand new elite mastermind. I was, full of the joys of investment. I was like, yes, I'm going to go to my next level. I've just invested. It was a 25K investment. I paid in full. I was all in. And when my mentor said, oh, now that you're in the elite mastermind, you should come with us to Barbados. And I was like, okay, cool. When's that? She said, next week. And I was like, oh my God, right. I better pack a case. So I asked my husband, are you okay with that? Can I go to Barbados? And he was like, yes, babe, just off you go. Enjoy yourself. Now, while I was at that retreat, I had this breakthrough. I had this breakthrough about the fact that I'd added too many offers to my business model. I was trying to sell too many things. They were disjointed. There was no synergy. It didn't feel good for me. There was offers in my business model that I didn't love anymore. So I broke it all down. I literally peeled back my business. I stripped programs. I got rid of programs. I fired a couple of clients. I changed my team a little bit. It was a really big retreat for me. That was my biggest ever retreat. That's my biggest ever breakthrough that I've had, because I literally burned my business to the ground, right? If I'm being really honest, I got rid of so much. So I stripped everything back. I increased my pricing because I noticed my clients were getting incredible results. I knew my offers were good. I knew I was good. I was very solid in what I was offering. So I increased my prices. I got rid of some offers and I streamlined. I also rebranded, not as in built a whole new website, but I rebranded my products. I rebranded my business models. So that was when I created the Infinite Abundance Collective and the Infinite Abundance Mastermind, 2 programs, both group programs, both evergreen, both with, good levels of proximity to me. The mastermind is obviously closer proximity to me. The collective, I designed it for women who want to get to 3 to 7K months. And the mastermind was for anybody that wanted to hit 10K consistently and grow to 20 and 30K months. So they were very much offers that led to each other. So I've had women upgrade from the collective into the mastermind. So there was good progression in my offer suite. And it was at that retreat where I came up with all of that. And it took me about 3 months to remove offers, change my pricing, rebuild new offers, create the sales page, plan the enrollment, plan how I was going to launch them and get them out there. Okay. As part of that up level, I also put in much better boundaries for myself because I didn't have 2 evergreen group programs before that point. And I was surrounded by peers, like biz besties who were constantly asking for my advice and support. My WhatsApp was filled with questions all day long from other people who did what I do, who wanted to pick my brain. And I really struggled to pull back from that. But I knew that if I didn't pull back from that, then I've got a free coaching group going on in my WhatsApp. So pulled back from all of that, took WhatsApp off my phone. Haven't had WhatsApp on my phone since then. When I say took it off, it's still on my phone. I turned off the notifications and literally put in better boundaries, streamlined the way that I show up in my business. Okay. So what was the outcome of me overcoming this challenge? What were the results? Well, I very intentionally created my first ever 100K launch. It was actually 107K. And I went into it thinking this is gonna go over 100K. I know this is gonna be my first 6-figure launch. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I know I can hold this space. I know I can hold the energy. And I did. So I got to celebrate my first 100K launch, which felt absolutely flipping amazing. I also created a high converting funnel that I can now look back and say has generated multi 6 figures and has helped me to hit my £500,000 from funnel income goal that you might have seen me celebrating. The other thing that this breakthrough helped me to do, because I increased my prices, it really did help me to attract higher caliber clients. So if you are dancing around the decision at the moment to increase your prices, but at the same time, you're like, looking at the clients that you're attracting and wishing that they were higher caliber people, then putting your prices up is the best thing that you can do, okay? Because it really, really did help me to attract clients that made me literally go, oh my God, like, you want to work with me? Like, that is absolutely incredible. I would love to support you. But it was because I put my prices up that I started really attracting those people, because they could see I was an authority. I was leading the way. I was credible in my space. Okay. So don't delay on putting your prices up. Don't delay on reworking your business model if any of this is speaking to you. Okay. Now, if you've got questions about how to do this, maybe you've been thinking about doing it for a while and procrastinating, not really like making the right moves, then it may be because you need a mentor by your side. It may be that you need to work with someone like me. Yeah, hopefully me, but maybe someone like me, right? It may not be that I'm your person, but let's hope I am. If I was your person and you came to me and said, right, I need to work on my business model, I need to rework my pricing, I need to scale this offer, I need to make it evergreen, I want to be able to enroll 5 clients a month into this group program, that would be the sort of stuff that I help people with in my Infinite Abundance Mastermind. Okay. That is the program where we get to work really closely together, build out your funnels, build out your offers, really work on systemizing and scaling your business so that you can break through to new levels of income, whether that's 20K, 30K, 50K months. Okay. If you want to go over 50K months all the way to $1 million, then we would need to be talking about you joining my Millionaire Mastermind. Okay. So let's move on to challenge number 2. Challenge number 2 was, God, this one might make me cry, to talk about, because this feels really personal. But my number one loyalty in life, number one value in life is loyalty. Okay, loyalty is my number one value. Always has been, always will be. And what I noticed was that my incredible loyalty was keeping me stuck. Okay, now there's a good reason why loyalty is my number one value. It comes from abandonment, in childhood. I grew up, with a mum and dad, but there was not as much love as you would hope for in your childhood. The family home was not the way that I would want my son to experience our family home. It was not the best, right? It was hard, right? It was really, really hard. And I grew up with a real sense of the people that loved me abandoned me. And so loyalty has become my number one, because I never want anybody to feel that way about me. I think back to the younger version of me and how I felt abandoned. I felt that the people around me that should have loved me and been loyal to me weren't. And so because of that, I've gone on in life to give that to other people in abundance, right? I will be your loyalist friend. I will be your most loyal mentor. I am loyal to the core, okay? But sometimes, well, certainly when I experienced this challenge, I noticed it had gone too far. Because when loyalty goes too far, this is what I started to notice: people pleasing. Okay, doing anything to be there for somebody, to the point where I am not pleasing myself, I'm just pleasing them at the detriment of myself, right? So not putting in strong enough boundaries, not really looking after me and what I needed, because I was being so fiercely loyal that I was giving more to others than I was retaining for myself. Okay, now I'm not saying that loyalty is a bad thing, excuse me, but I can look back and, see how my loyalty has helped me massively. I've got some of the most incredible friendships in my life. I am still friends with a girl I went to school with age 4, another girl that joined the school at age 7, and we kind of, created this little clique together. We've done everything together. We've traveled the world together. Like, I know every boyfriend they've ever had. I was at all their weddings, all their hen-dos. Like, I was bridesmaid for them. Like, incredible friendships. We've never had an argument, never fallen out. The loyalty is strong. It is fiercely, fiercely strong. And so it's a good thing. Loyalty is a good thing, but I noticed it was going too far, okay? And so things that I was noticing were saying yes when I shouldn't say yes. So being asked, will you come and do a guest expert for me? Without me even checking, who's your audience? What do they need? And, is my expertise really what they're looking for right now? How many people are in the group? Like, before really checking that I was going to be supported and served from that decision, I would just say yes. I would just say yes to everything because I was people pleasing. Yeah, I didn't put in boundaries for myself. I just went for it. Yeah, I was available 24/7. Anybody could message me anytime, and my loyalty meant that I would show up for them 24/7. Yeah, early mornings, late nights, I was 24/7 on call. And if you're doing that for your clients right now, let me tell you, it is not a good thing. You need to put in boundaries. You might think that you're being super helpful, and I am always there for my clients when they really need me, but not 24/7. You don't have to be like that, right? That's not loyalty, right? That's not loyalty. That's way beyond being there for your clients, being available 24/7. Don't encourage that behavior. It's not helpful. The other thing I've got here in my notes is overgiving, right? Providing far more value than I was charging for. I mean, I'm still crap at that, to be honest. I was on a call with somebody yesterday and we went like 45 minutes over, but she's in my millionaire mastermind. So she gets so much, like from me. Like that's what I want for my millionaire mastermind. It is a very close proximity, inner circle space. And yeah, we went 45 minutes over time. We were having a great call. A lot of what we were talking about benefited me as well as benefiting her. So, it wasn't like I was resentful of giving that time. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. But at the time when I'm thinking about, reflecting back to this challenge was when I was overgiving and it was taking me too much time. It was exhausting me and I was feeling resentful. That's how you know that you've gone too far. You start to feel resentful, okay? And you start to notice like patterns of dependency. People who, clients who started off coming to you for coaching and mentorship or, some form of like learning or strategic up level, but you start to notice them needing you. You start to notice their language being a little bit more dependent on you. I can't move forward without you. Yeah, like you've become a crutch for them, like you've become more of a therapist than a coach. Yeah, so look out for that and make sure that you're not going down that path too. Some of the things that I did, I mentioned this earlier, for a while I removed WhatsApp from my phone completely, but then because my friends messaged me on WhatsApp, I put it back, but I turned off my notifications. So I just intentionally go into WhatsApp when I want to read my messages. And obviously, if it's in a business day, I'm not in my WhatsApp. I will message my friends back in the evening. I've got much more structured around my time and like when I'm there for the people that need me. So removing WhatsApp and turning off those notifications was a really good thing for me. Setting clear communication boundaries with family, family, friends, and clients so that you probably get this as well, right? And maybe this is not to do with loyalty. This is just to do with you're in your house. But does anybody else's family see that you are sat in your office or wherever your desk is, wherever you do your work at home? And because you're sat there in the family home, people think it's okay to just come and interrupt you. So like my son would just come walking in the room when I'm on a Zoom call and I'd be like, hello, this is my business. Like, get out. Like I'm hosting a call. Like you cannot walk in half naked just because this is one of the rooms in our home doesn't mean you can just swan in when you want. I'm running a business in here, a proper business. So, I had to set boundaries. I had to have a chat with my husband, have a chat with my son and say, just because you see me in the room, just because I'm in the house doesn't mean I'm always available. Yeah, so now we've got much better practices around that in the home. What else did I do? I changed, some of my offers like services and packages, and I just made sure that we had a set of values. So, when I enroll a program, we have a set of values for that program, a set of like expectations. This is what you can expect of me. This is what I expect of you. And come, with that is communication boundaries as well. And the outcome of all of this, the outcome of me facing this challenge, realizing it, working on it, working through it, is better energy, more time, a feeling of peace and serenity in just how I operate. And I still have people say to me, but you just went on a family holiday and you did a mastermind call from the little table area by the pool. Like, how is that having good boundaries? Well, for me, that feels good. And we get to design our business however we want to. Okay, I want you to always remember this. What feels good for me may not feel good for you. I don't run a mastermind call from poolside in the Dominican Republic for the reason that my boundaries are bad. I run it because I love my mastermind call. I love dialing in to support my clients. Why would I not want to do the call? Why would I want to mess up their diary and mine and cause me to miss them? Because I miss hosting the call for them if I don't host it. And for me, life and business blends perfectly. I love my business. I love my clients. I love my life. I love my family. I balance it all, yeah? And I do it with love. I do it with enjoyment. If I was resenting it, notice I'm saying this word resentment again. If there is a feeling of resentment, if it's like, oh God, I've got to go and do that Zoom call. Like, if that was happening, then it would be the wrong thing to do. But it isn't. It's like, I'll see you in an hour, family, I'll see you in an hour. I'm just going to go off and speak to my ladies. I'm going to go off, make sure my ladies, make sure their launches are going to plan, make sure their sales campaigns are converting, make sure their funnels are doing what their funnels are meant to be doing. Funneling, yeah? So don't notice those feelings of resentment, because where resentment sets in, you need to make a change. If there's no resentment and you enjoy the way that you're running your business, that's all good. Yeah. So my big outcome from that breakthrough, from that challenge, was being able to adjust my style of working, being able to set powerful boundaries. And now I get to feel freedom. I get to feel choice. Okay. When I think back to my corporate life, I had no choice. I was traveling all the time. I was in hotels, was working 80-hour plus weeks. I was missing my family. I became like a stranger in my own family home. That's not what I wanted. I had no choice. Whereas now I get to choose everything. And so do you. Yes, so do you. You get to choose everything. It is life and business by design. Have it no other way, ladies. Okay. Challenge number 3. We are just checking the time. I've got to leave for the school run soon. So challenge number 3, and I know each and every one of you listening to this will connect with what I'm saying. You will have experienced this already, or you may be feeling signs of it coming. The challenge is time. Time. Time is that valuable commodity that we get 24 hours of time every day. We always wish that we had more time. Or do you ever find yourself saying, if I could just stop time moving for a week so I can catch up? Yeah, time. One of my biggest challenges was a real realization that, again, it probably fits with number 1, right? The more is more. Like, no, you cannot just work more hours, right? You cannot just pack more into a day, pack more into a week. It's not going to work. So what I noticed was that I wanted to multiply time. I wanted to create more productivity, more hours in a day, more hours in a week. I wanted to be able to do more, get more done, cover more ground, but I couldn't magic up more time. Well, the only way for you to magic up more time is to hire team. Yeah. I was chatting to one of my mastermind girls yesterday about this. If you were to hire a VA for 6 hours a week, you've just added 6 hours a week to your life, because those 6 hours a week, if you are working those 6 hours now and you hire somebody in, delegate 6 hours worth of work, you just gained 6 hours of time. Now, what you need to do is obviously spend that time wisely, But the only way to multiply time is to hire a team, to get more productive, to be able to do more because you're using better systems, better process, automation. Yeah, bringing in people to help you and becoming a master delegator. So how did it show up for me? Well, I was working too many hours. Yeah, and I have a tendency for this. I'm a high achieving woman. Yeah, I came from a corporate role where I worked really bloody hard. Having an empty diary was just not a thing. And so I was working too many hours, working weekends, working evenings. I also noticed that I already had some team at that point. I was not fully trusting them. I was having like doubts creep in. I would have thoughts like, I'll just do that myself, it'd be quicker. I'll just do that myself, I can do it better. And that's not good, right? If you're going to delegate, if you're going to hire a team, at least delegate and trust them and give them work that allows them to do their best work, to utilize their best skills. Hiring team and then doing the work yourself is absolutely flipping pointless, right? And I was going into that cycle of, well, I've got the people, but actually I know how I want this to work. I'm just going to do it myself. So I wouldn't delegate as much. So I was working too many hours, not fully trusting the team I had, believing I needed to make some changes in the team, which was the right thing. And my delegation skills needed to step up. Now, don't forget, I'd come from a corporate role where I had 57 staff. And those 57 staff, the majority of them were remote. They weren't in the office with me. They were all over the UK, some of them in Ireland. They were in the northern parts of Scotland, the southern parts of Kent, down in Cornwall. They were in all corners of the UK. Some of them I went months without actually being in a room with. So we did everything over the phone. We did everything remotely. And I had to manage that team of 57 staff. Together, we hit a budget of 100 million. You've probably heard me tell the story before. But 57 people to manage means I'm a good delegator, right? I'm actually good at seeing other people's strengths, being able to leverage those strengths, being able to help them lean more into their strengths. I was good with, other departments. I was good at delegating. I was good at building like little mini teams and collaboration so that we could get projects delivered and done on time. I was a good leader, right? So I knew, I was looking at the way I was working and delegating to my team and thinking, have you just suddenly forgot everything that you know about managing a team, Rachel? Like, what's going on? You just ran a team of 57. How can you not run a team of 3? Like, what is going on? I mean, that's a whole other podcast episode, but it's actually easier to manage 57 people than it is to manage 3. But, don't go and hire 57 staff because I don't think that you'll get an ROI on that immediately, right? So don't do that. But I couldn't fathom why I was finding it so tricky to lead the team and build real cohesion because I knew I was a great leader. I knew that I had the skills to do it. I just wasn't bloody using it. So yeah, my delegation skills needed some polishing up, shall we say. Now, the breakthrough that I had, the real shift that I had, it just came from journaling, right? I was just journaling. I was just getting curious with questions like, how much further ahead do I want to be? And what do I truly believe is stopping me? What would be the top 3 things that would help me to make faster, bigger progress? And then I would explore the answer, get curious with it, ask myself more questions about it, really dig into it. And the breakthrough just came because of that journaling session where I really just noticed what was happening. It was like the clouds parted and suddenly the sun shone through and I was like, oh, now I can see what's happening. So what did I actually do? I reworked our job roles. So I started off reviewing my job role, reviewing the job roles of other people, in the team, and splitting out a couple of the job roles and making sure that I was really clear and aligned with this is how we're going to work moving forwards. And then I set about finding the people and matching the jobs with the skills with the people. Okay. And that wasn't an overnight thing, but that was what I did. I reworked the roles, got really clear. If you want to do an exercise like this, I would just recommend that you open up a spreadsheet, like a simple like Google sheet. And in the first column, just write down all of the tasks that you do. So if you're looking to hire your first person, write down all the tasks that you do, and then add some extra columns and just put little ticks in the columns. Where are the jobs? Go and tick the jobs in one column that you love doing. Go and tick the jobs in a column called jobs I hate doing. Then create a column for, jobs I'm just not good at, and it's not that you hate doing it, you're just not good at it, jobs that aren't my skill set. And just create some columns where you can start to really see the way that you spend your time through a new lens, right? What are the jobs that I can do really quickly? What are the jobs that I take ages overdoing? What are the jobs that I have to do, but I really hate it? I detest it. Yeah. First thing I ever outsourced was bookkeeping, because that was really not a vibe for me. I'm just doing my receipts. Absolutely not. Mind-numbingly boring. Get me out of that role as fast as possible. That was the first thing I ever outsourced. Okay. So I reworked the job roles, got really clear on who had what skill, what we all needed to work on, built out a team-focused Asana board, and really started working on Asana using different projects, being very systematic and using my old leadership skills from corporate to plan my business like a proper business. Now, this is what my clients say to me all the time. Rachel, I love working with you because you are so structured. You are so systematic. You are so strategic in the way that you think, the way that you plan. And that comes from years of being in corporate, years of having to operate at scale. So I'm very good at being able to see your blind spots, being able to simplify something that you see as complex. And so, one of my clients actually said publicly on a post a little while ago, I love working with you because you're helping me build a proper business, not an Instagram business. Yeah. So it's not just an Instagram profile that sells stuff. That is a business, right? Not throwing any shade. If you've got an Instagram profile that sells stuff, great. But I'm building a company. My clients are building a company. We're building a proper business, okay? And that takes team, systems, process, projects. It takes longevity. It takes a vision. Yeah, it takes patience and strategy to be able to build that vision and then put all the tasks in place so that you can actually go and build that vision into a reality. Okay, that's building a proper company. So if you know that you want to build a proper company, now that you know that that is a really big, strong skill set of mine, if you want to build a proper company, maybe you're building a company to be able to sell it. Maybe you're building a company for the exit strategy. Maybe you want to build a legacy, you want your company to be so big that it creates a huge legacy, a massive impact in this world, and you want somebody who knows how to operate at scale, then we should have a chat about you coming to work with me inside one of my masterminds or inside a one-to-one program, because that is where I can add real value to a business. Yeah, I've managed £100 million budget, 57 people. I know how to operate at scale. Okay, so if you're feeling the pull to build a company, to really build a legacy, then let me know and we can have a little chat about what your next move should be, what strategy and decisions you might need to put in place moving forwards. Okay. Now, what did, when I had this sort of big reflection moment and I made these changes, I just want to share with you what was the outcome that I created. Well, I now have a team of 6. So I have a community happiness and events manager. I have a content manager, a social media manager, a finance manager, a video editor, and a podcast manager. Obviously, we're sat here on the podcast, okay? That is a team of 6 who I trust implicitly, who have very clear roles, very clear boundaries. We communicate really well in Slack. When we want to get a project over the line, we build out a project in Asana. Yeah, we don't sit for hours on team meetings. We don't need to. But I feel like I've built a really, really strong team. We've got a very structured back end in the business. Every time I say back end, I think of a pantomime cow. Who wants to be the back end of the cat? Nobody. So, we've got a very structured back end of the business, very structured operationally. We use systems. We're very methodical in the way that we do things. And the outcome of that means that we can be very productive. We can get a lot done in a short space of time. Whereas I know there are, some of my peer group, even people that have got £1 million business would admit to having a chaotic business. Yeah, they make £1 million on the front end. They're great at showing up and selling, but the systems and process on the back end, absolute chaos. And there will be a point in a business like that where it all falls apart. You cannot build, you can't build a house on mud, right? It's the same principle. You cannot build a successful business that operates at scale, that builds true profitability, sustainability, longevity, that builds your legacy. You can't build a business like that without process, without systems, without operations, without strategy, okay? So if you want to have a chat with me about us scaling your business and doing it with the most amount of simplicity possible, let's have a chat about that. But what I really hope, guys, is that me sharing these 3 challenges, I didn't cry, so that's good. I thought I might cry with the loyalty piece, but I hope that me sharing these challenges with you has opened your eyes to the reality. Like I said in the beginning, success isn't a straight line. Sometimes the best outcomes are difficult to create, are difficult to find. Yeah, and you do need to experience some tough times to get the good times. Okay, so if you are going through a tricky time, I really do hope that this episode has not just helped you to not feel alone in that trickiness, but also given you some ideas, some inspiration, some action that you can put in place to move forward. So I'm going to leave it there, go and do the school run like a good mum that I am, and I will see you next week for our next episode on the show. As always, if you know anybody that needs to hear this message, please do share the show with them. I'll see you next week.